I can't stop throwing football management cliches out there at the moment, so here's another one for you. These next 2 games will make or break our season. Hello and welcome to Season 12, Episode 7 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we have 2 very, very important cup games. First of all, we've got the FA Cup 6th round away against Championship strugglers Crystal Palace. Fingers crossed, that one's got to be a win, surely. And then the big one, the second leg of the second knockout round of the Europa League away against Lyon. We've just drawn the home leg 1-1, and we were 1-0 up for so long. It was, in fact, let's have a look at that one. We took the lead in the 11th minute, and we held on for as long as we could, but Lyon are a good side, and they equalised in the 81st minute, getting themselves a very valuable away goal, and that one is going to be a tough one. We're also really struggling at the moment with the fact that the games are coming so thick and fast. We're literally having a space of no more than 3 or 4 days between games. So last time you were with me, we obviously had the 2 big wins in the cup competitions. Since then, we've had 3 Premier League games. It's been a complete mixed bag, really. We lost 2-1 at home against Brighton. Played a bit of a rotated team in that game, purely because we'd played Lyon 3 days earlier. Everyone was exhausted, so we mixed the team up quite a bit. It didn't work. We lost 2-1 against who at the time were bottom of the league, Brighton. Not a good result. But then only 4 days later we were... Oh no, that's the wrong game. Only 4 days later we were away... 3 days later, away against Newcastle. We did scrape a last-minute Christian Arendt equaliser. Something exciting did happen in this game. We played Fall and Arendt together for the first time. They looked good together. They both got a goal as well. They weren't together for very long, but they were together long enough to both get a goal. Nicola Stein got sent off in that game, though, so we were quite lucky to come away for that with a draw. Newcastle are in 4th place in the league, so that wasn't a bad result by any means. And then we won 1-0 at home to Sheffield United. Again, playing quite a rotated team in an effort to try and save some players' fitness for these 2 very important games. Sheffield United are bottom of the league now, so we've struggled to beat some quite poor teams. League at the moment, we're 11 games from the end of the season. We're sat in 5th place. We've got a game in hand over Aston Villa, who are level on points with us. They only came up from the Championship last season, so they're having a fantastic first season back in the Premier League. We're not going to catch the top 4, so our only hope of Champions League football for next season is to win the Europa League. That's looking difficult because of what's gone on with Lyon. And now we're playing Crystal Palace, who at the moment are in 19th place in the Championship. They're 1 point out of the relegation zone, only 2 points off bottom of the league. Very, very tight at the bottom of the Championship. So I'd like to think this one should be relatively straightforward, which obviously means we're going to lose it. So we're rotating the team again because the Lyon game, massively important. It's only 3 days after this one, or 4 days, whatever it is. Just interchange 3 and 4 whenever I say them on this episode. That's the theme of the episode. Games are too close together. So we're rotating again. So Ben Garrett comes back in goal. He's played quite a few games recently while we're resting Matt Lee. I don't know if that's the best idea, rotating the goalkeepers around, but I want Matt Lee to be fully fit and raring to go for the Lyon game. A back 4, very makeshift, of Kyle Walker-Peters, Pascal Leader, Alexei Sokolov and Vladislav Lazarov. Lazarov's just coming back from injury and he's looking as good as he was before he was injured. So good to have him back in the team. I probably won't keep him on for the full game because I want him to be ready for Lyon. But he's in such good form, I just can't see a reason to drop him at the moment. And also, the only option really would be Fritzsche or Leader, and they're both needed elsewhere in the team, so Lazarov has to play. We've then got a midfield of... In fact, no, he doesn't, because I've just remembered Will Leach is suspended in Europe. So what I'm actually going to do is this. And put Walker-Peters out at right back. Bring Leach in at left back because he can't play in midweek. We do need to bring Lazarov onto the bench now, though. So Andrew Preston's going to lose his place on the bench. And we'll go with that. As you can see, we've got no midfielders on the bench because we're struggling a little bit for midfielders at the moment. And they're all getting injured. Johnny Vaughan is just back in training now, not ready for today. So midfield, we've not been able to rotate as much as we wanted to. That's why Fritcher has to play there rather than covering at right back. He's going to have Chris and Yusuf either side of him. Nuri plays in behind a front two of Oliveira and Fall. And we have got Aaron, Lacio and Thomas all on the bench if it does look like it's going a little bit wrong. So let's go and play Palace. Like I say, massively important game. We're on the telly. This will be, if we win this, a third FA Cup semi-final in a row. Oh God, why have I let Sokolov be captain? He's transfer listed by request. He's barely played any games for us ever. I might need to change that soon. Yeah, some players will play here. Blah 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 blah. Vladislav is being rested. Yeah, Johnny Vaughan. Well, Johnny Vaughan's still injured. He failed a fitness test. Yeah, he's not ready to start this game. Who cares about their players? And yes, we work hard, train professionally, etc., etc. It doesn't look like there's anybody we recognise in the Crystal Palace side. Oh, I hope we don't mess this up, but form recently has been so indifferent that I'm not as confident going into this game as I would normally be. Ideal scenario is we get 2 or 3 goals in the first half and can take off anyone who's got a chance of playing against Lyon for most of the second half. I'm thinking particularly midfield players. I know we've not got anyone to come on to replace them, but we could move the formation around a little bit. Lacio can play at the point of our sort of lopsided diamond. If need be, he's still training to play there, so it wouldn't hurt him to get some game time there. This is Oliveira's first appearance in ages, not because I don't like him, but we've got 5 really good strikers at the club now. Obviously, we let Thierry Ambrose go, but with Arendt coming in, oh, Fall's injured. Right, hold on, straight away. I don't care there's only 25 minutes on the clock. We need Modou Fall for the next game, so I might bring Thomas on, actually, because if Fall is injured, the last thing we want to do is risk Arendt. We all know he's made of glass, and playing most of a game against a championship side probably isn't the best plan for him. We're 1-0 up. Yusuf has got a very, very important goal there. I hope Fall's not properly injured. Thigh injury, though, that's not going to be good, is it? Best bet is it's a dead leg or something, and he might be able to be on the bench for Lyon. Realistically, he's probably done a hamstring strain or something, and he's probably out for the next game, even though we've dragged him off the pitch as soon as we noticed the injury. But that's not good. Why did I play Fall in this game? Someone talk me through why Fall's... I mean, I know I've played Arendt quite a bit in the league to try and save Fall for the Cups, but I didn't need to risk him today. I still haven't mastered this squad rotation lark. And I tell you what, playing so many games, having all these extra European games, it's really hard. This game gets difficult when you get to this point. When you're still on a relatively small squad like we are, we're particularly feeling it in midfield and at the back, where we don't have much in the way of players to rotate. So priority for the summer is to just try and find some more squad players. We don't necessarily need to bring in players who can come straight into our first team unless we're forced to sell, because I think our first team is excellent. But we need to bring in some young sort of under 21, under 23 players who are going to be good. The normal Ipswich Town model, you know the sort of player I like. And just try and fill the squad out a little bit. We need a centre-back or 2. We're probably going to lose Pascal Leader. He's on the transfer list by request now. We're probably all right for cover at full-back, but midfield we're really struggling for backup players. So we need to bring in 1 or 2 of them probably. Although we've got a couple out on loan who might be able to come back and join the squad next season. Pace, the player whose name I can never remember. He's at Leverkusen, I think, on loan for the season and playing a lot of games for them and playing regularly for Uruguay. So he should be able to come back next season and just slot straight back into the first team squad, and we'll need him as well, assuming we're in Europe again. Nuri's in here. Thomas should have scored. That was a clear-cut opportunity for Wilfred Thomas, who has been playing well considering the other strikers we've got at the club. He's managing to keep himself in and around the first team action, which is no mean feat, because I would have assumed he would be our 5th choice striker when Arendt came in. But Thomas is just scoring regularly and just keeping himself above Oliveira in the pecking order, and that is not what we wanted to happen. Because 2 reasons. Firstly, we absolutely can't afford a replay if it comes to that. But secondly, it means we can't bring players off and rotate a bit and rest a bit, which is not ideal at all when we've got to play Lyon in a couple of days. I think we might be hitting that point where all these games are starting to catch up on us, and I'm starting to understand why, in the real world, the top managers play reserve teams in some of these cup competitions and prioritise a little bit. This might be our last season having a proper go at the FA Cup while we're in Europe, just because it's too risky. Right, Lazio's going to come on for Nuri and play in that attacking midfielder role. He's been training there. He's got 20 minutes now to show me if he's any good at it by now. And we desperately need a goal. We can't go out at this stage to a team like Palace. That's just, I mean, it's going to destroy any confidence we might have going into the Lyon game, especially conceding late the way we did. Oliveira's in. He should have scored. That's both him and Thomas have now missed really easy chances. Christian Arendt is warming up. I mean, he's got to come on, hasn't he? I think, in fact, we'll give him the last 15 minutes. I don't usually like to make my final substitution this early, but we're in desperate need of a goal. Let's get Christian Arendt on. He can come on for Oliveira. He's going to play as the complete forward with Thomas in front of him. That's what they've been doing when they played together in the league, and they look like quite a good partnership. Oh, come on, lads. We need a goal. Right, Yusuf out to Walker-Peters. Let's get that cross in. Fritscher to Chris. We just need to get a chance for Arendt. Walker-Peters. Yusuf, get the ball in the box. Cross it this time. Oh, Arendt was in, but rare missed header, I guess that was. Leach is in, and yes! We've gone back into the lead with 4 minutes to go. I nearly fell out of my chair. That's ridiculous. Right. I don't know what to do. I hate going in the lead that late in a game because I suppose we just have to keep attacking. We can't risk letting them back into it. We don't have the players on the pitch to go to a defensive system, and we've let them in here. We've committed too many players forward, and Garrett has just made an excellent double save. I mean, he still gets in the England squad every time, so he's a good goalkeeper for us to have as a backup, and it was good to see him make a couple of saves. Right, Lazio, can he do anything here? He finds Yusuf, but that ball doesn't make its way to Walker-Peters, and Palace have got another break on here, but luckily they've let the ball slip away. Right, we just need to keep hold of the ball now. Leader, just keep the ball. That's another terrible pass from Yusuf. That's twice. He's given the ball away sloppily and let Palace in, and Will Leach does really well to get across and make that clearance. We've got to hold on for a minute, and I'm still playing attacking. There's no point changing it now because the change won't go through in time, but I probably should have made that change a little bit sooner. Thomas, just run the ball into the corner. Walker-Peters, Yusuf. Walker-Peters is far too far forward, but he's just following instructions. Lazio now puts Walker-Peters in, and we've got to hold on for 10 seconds. Just take your time with this throw on. There we go. We're back at Wembley. Another FA Cup semi-final. So I guess that's going to be one of the things you see in the next episode. The important thing is the other thing you see in the next episode going to be a quarter-final in the Europa League. So, two important pieces of news from between the two games. Firstly, Modou Fall did only have a dead leg. He's not fit enough to start today's game. He's only at 78% condition, but he can take a place on the bench. So, suddenly signing Christian Arendt seems like it was a good idea after all, even on all that money. The other piece of news is the FA Cup semi-final. We're going to be playing Arsenal again. So, a repeat of last season's semi-final, I think that was. Was that the final? Can't even remember now. I think it was the semi-final last season, wasn't it? So, yeah, fingers crossed we can do another number on them. I think they are top of the league, though. So they've moved up a level since last year when they weren't quite so good. So, who knows? So, Lyon, we're away, but we need to get a goal. I am playing the strongest team I have available to me. Unfortunately, Johnny Vaughan still isn't fit enough to even take a place on the bench. So Abdelhak Nouri is going to play in the trequartista role with Lazio and Arendt in front of him. Lazio and Arendt haven't really played together since Arendt's been back at the club, but obviously they did spend a season playing together previously. I mean, going back nearly 2 years now, but they do know each other. They've scored a lot of goals together. So not too concerned about those two being up front. The midfield is unchanged from the Palace game because it's the only midfield we've really got. Chris, Fritscher and Yusuf. Kuhl is on the bench, as is David Martin, but I'm not massively confident about either of them coming in and making much of a difference. And then the back four, obviously Will Leach is suspended, otherwise it is our first choice back four. Walker-Peters is a perfectly adequate understudy for Will Leach. In fact, he's the one who gets in the England squads while Leach is still playing for the under-21s, so obviously England consider them to be the other way around anyway. And then Dane and Zabella back together at centre-back, and Lazaroff comes back in at right-back with Matt Lee in goal. The bench looks pretty strong. There was a bit of a decision to make about whether to have Fall or Oliveira on the bench, because obviously Oliveira is fully fit, but you know, if we need a goal with 10 minutes to go, how do we not bring Modou Fall on? So he's on the bench. Whew. Right, this is the big one. This is important. I really want to win the Europa League. Modou Fall is injured. That's why. You asked some stupid questions. Right. Go on. We need to win this match, lads. Really inspirational team talk from Ian Culverhouse there. Let me know in the comments. Give me some articles to read to tell me how to do team talks, because he's rubbish at them. But I'm even worse. Whenever I try and do it, it's just a sea of red. So at least he leaves them feeling indifferent. Right, do not score now. That was an excellent challenge from Dane. We cannot afford to let them go into the lead. They've already got that away goal. We need to just find a way to control this game from start to finish. We need another performance like we had in the second leg against Celtic. We need to just go and score a lot of goals. Unfortunately, 10 minutes in, we're struggling to even get the ball. Lyon were in the Champions League. They've come out of that. They are a good team. Better than us, realistically. So, it's not a disaster if we lose to them. But I really want to win, because I want to play in the Champions League next season, and this is really the only realistic route in. We've not actually had a shot yet in this first half. We need a goal. We're only on 35% possession for that first half. We've not had a shot. This isn't going well, is it? They are just absolutely... They're playing proper European football. They're an experienced European side. They've done this a million times before. And they're just keeping control of the ball, keeping control of the game. They don't need to do anything other than stop us scoring. And they're doing a great job of it at the moment. Although Lacio's in there, and Chris could have made himself a hero. But just that he scuffed it off his shin, I think. Right, come on. At least we've had a shot now. Lacio's now in again. And Aaron! And yes, we've got our away goal. It's gone down as an own goal. But we all know that was Christian Arendt. That's what he does. A ball into the box. He doesn't miss in those situations. Let's see that in 3D. I'm convinced that that's a Christian Arendt goal. So Lacio brings it down brilliantly on his chest, crosses it first time on his right foot. Okay, it didn't get anywhere near Arendt, but they were scared of him. That's why that goal's gone in. Right, now everything changes. They have to attack now. The away goal is cancelled out. From this point on, they're terrified of us scoring again, because if we do, obviously we take the advantage on away goals. So they've got to attack now. They have no choice but to come at us. Their whole game plan has to change. Right. We need to make some substitutions, because we've got some tired legs out there. Fritzsche is particularly tired. I don't know. How tired is particularly tired? I don't know what to do. Right, I'm going to bring David Martin on for Nuri, because Nuri's not really been involved in the game at all. And I think I'm going to bring Cool, our club captain. He can come on. I think I'll bring him on for Chris, actually, rather than Fritzsche. Just because if we have to drop back to a holding midfield player, Fritzsche's the only man who can do it, so he needs to stay on the pitch. Right. 20 minutes to go to just... Oh, we've got a penalty. Oh, now, why is Arendt not going to take this? He is a goal machine. What are we thinking? Is this Cool, though? He does take a good penalty. He's been our penalty taker for a long time. So Cool now with the chance from the penalty. We're 2-0 up. Surely we can't throw this away from here. We've got 2 away goals. Lyon now need to score 3 times in the last 20 minutes to... in fact, is that even enough? Yeah, 3 goals in the last 20 minutes to win the tie. Not going to extra time, at least. So that means I'm going to give it another 5 minutes or so and bring Modou Fall on for Christian Arendt. I tell you what, I don't need to. Hey, Yusuf has got... We're 3-0 up. It's a repeat of Celtic. We love a second leg in Europe. I mean, Lyon are going to be angry with themselves here, because this is just sloppy. They're not marking their man, and they give Yusuf all the time in the world to just place it into the far corner. He's unmarked in the penalty area from a set piece. That's just sloppy. Lyon did play with sweeper in the first leg, so I wonder if that may be their normal system. And they're perhaps playing something a little bit uncomfortable today in this 4-2-3-1 that they're using, and it just isn't working for them. They were excellent in the first leg and the first half of this game as well, but we are rampant now. Arendt's in. It's 4-0. I think we made it through to the next round of the Europa League. Lacio slots it through to Martin. Arendt he just won't ever miss from there. That's not what he does. Just powers it in. And we don't need to risk Modou Fall now. We can save him for the Norwich game at the weekend. We're playing our local rivals Norwich in the league in 3 days' time. So actually, rather than risking Modou Fall, we need to start thinking of who do we need to save for that game. So fitness-wise, I think I might even take Lazarov off if we've got... Yeah, Leader can come there. Just because he's not long back from injury. He's done his job today, and we just don't need to risk him. Well, I said we need a repeat of Celtic. We've gone away to Lyon in Europe and won 4-0. That is very much unexpected, especially the way that first half went. I mean, we did nothing. We can go and get a fifth here. We're breaking on them again. This is mad. It's not often that I'm lost for words, but I kind of am at the moment. This is why I can't do team talks, because I have no idea what to say to them now, other than, well done, lads. That was quite a good second half, wasn't it? You've just stuffed a really good European side. Who cares that they've scored? It means nothing unless they're going to get another 4 in the next minute, which I would suggest is unlikely. Zabala probably could have done a little bit better there. Matt Lee's been wrong-footed, which is a bit of a shame for him. It would have been nice for him to come here and get a clean sheet. But who cares? We're through to the next round. Hey, right, let's go and see who we've got in the draw. So quarter-final and semi-final draws happen now, I think. So it all gets a bit exciting for planning the rest of the season and whatnot. So let's go and do that draw before the episode ends. So it's draw time. Who have we still got in the competition? So the last 8. We've got Ajax, Athletic Bilbao, Galatasaray, Man United, Roma, Everton, us and Napoli. I mean, they're all going to be exciting games potentially. Let's see who we get. So Bilbao come out first. They're going to play Roma. So we've still got the possibility of Man United or Everton to come. Right, we're home in the first leg of the quarterfinal and we are going to be playing Napoli. I don't even know if they're any good. Let's do the rest of the draw as well. So Galatasaray play Everton and Arsenal, Ajax play Manchester United. So I guess we do the semi-final now, do we? Yeah, let's go back to the semi-final. So in the semi-final, it will be us or Napoli, again at home in the first leg. Not ideal. We will play either Galatasaray or Everton. I mean, looking at the teams who are still in this draw, if the draw was going to open up and give us a route through to the final, I think it just has. I would suggest the 3 teams we're potentially going to have to play to get through to the final are the 3 I would pick. Maybe Athletic Bilbao would have been in there ahead of Napoli, maybe, but I don't know if Napoli are any good. But certainly if we can get past Napoli, I'm confident of either Galatasaray or Everton, so we could have a European final. This is ridiculous. Right, when does this game happen? I need to start planning episodes again. Right, so let's mix things up a little bit. We'll do the next 2 episodes. We'll have a league game. We'll perhaps do, I don't know, Napoli and Wolves, and then straight away Napoli and Arsenal. So we'll do those 4 games across 2 episodes, and by the end of that, we'll potentially be in the semi-final of the Europa League and the FA Cup final, or we might have been knocked out of both, and it'll be all about trying to sort this league position out and see if there's any way at all to close down a 10-point gap on Newcastle with 9 games to go. That's not going to happen, is it? We need to win a cup. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that. I mean, that just looks exciting. And thank you very much for watching.